Hi everyone, I'm so excited. I've got a really wonderful book. It's the latest from former student Yuyi Morales, and it's written by Sherman Alexie. And Yuyi's a Caldecott honor. She's won, I think, every single or just about every single award except the Coretta Scott King. And let's talk about the cover a little. It's called Thunder Boy, and we see all this grey, thunderous stuff behind. And it's got this wonderful sort of distressed type that's raised, and that's called embossed, and it's also gloss, whereas everything else on the cover is matte. We open it up, and it's just really very kicky end sheets. They're also very contemporary looking, very modern, with a slight, 50s modern look. And let's read the jacket flap. And it says, "Hi, my name is Thunderboy Jr. Thunderboy Jr. is named after his dad, but he wants a name that's all his own. Just because people call his dad Big Thunder doesn't mean he wants to be Little Thunder. He wants a name that celebrates something cool he's done, like touch the clouds, not afraid of 10,000 teeth, or full of wonder. But just when Thunderboy Jr. thinks all hope is lost, he and his dad picked the perfect name, a name that is sure to light up the sky." And then it's just got the sort of credits for both Sherman Alexie and Yuyi Morales. Here's the end sheets holding it together. Woo! And when you turn the end sheet, we can see they needed more space because a picture book is usually 32 or 40 pages. And so they're printing on the inside of the end sheet, and it's got the dedication, it's got the Congress and publication, and it's got a little information about how the illustrations were done, which was basically that Yuyi's studio was an old antique house in Jalapa, Mexico, and when it was when the rotting roof and some of the walls came down, she photographed elements, and then she used or scanned them directly, I'm not sure, and used them in this digitally assembled book. So it's pretty gorgeous. It's got a lot of white space, and even though this white space is not white, we still refer to it as white space. And it's pretty minimal, just the main character, Thunderboy Jr., a wonderful speech bubble. And notice how it's also very distressed looking. And that was probably done by drawing it really small and then enlarging it. It's got fun, funky, hand-lettered type, and then the credits here. And so we've got 1, 2, 3, and rule of threes is really great with illustrating or any kind of design. So I've got some little notes on the side to remind me of things that I want to talk about here. And we can see, these textures continuing through. We see the grey clouds of Thunder Boy, because there's usually grey clouds with thunder. The guitar is really cool. It's, let me see if I can bring that in. Hopefully I'm showing that properly. It's got a photograph of a landscape, let's put it that way, so you can see it's just beautifully done. And she's taken these textures and she's colorized them. So there are a couple of things that continue throughout the book, where we've got the grey of the clouds in the background. There are also these chevrons that you often see, like a zigzag that you'll often see in certain tribal affiliations, because the author is a Native American and the whole naming ritual is a Native American thing, specific to certain tribes. So, hello, my name is Thunderboy Smith. That's my real name. So when we look at this, the other thing that we see is it's very contemporary. A lot of Native American, it's historical stuff. It's usually not written by cultural insiders, so that's starting to change. And all these things add up. Yuyi also weaves, this is very multi-layered. And she's a conceptual illustrator, and what that means is that she works with ideas. as well as having phenomenal technique. And so she's got a couple of other threads that continue through that are purely visual second stories. There's this dog that appears in a lot of the images. And then there's a little sister who sometimes acts as a bit of a narrator, and who has this ball that she has all sorts of adventures with. And very relational, very expressive. I hope you can see that. And very adorable. Here, so she's got this, it's really large, taking up most of the page. And then this is small, so she's playing with contrast here. We've got a nice diagonal happening. Diagonals are awesome. And we've also got perspective happening where the boy, Thunder Boy, is the largest, and then his little sister is smaller, and then going further back is the dog. Now, if the dog was in the front, he'd be much bigger. Here, Thunder Boy has taken the ball, and his little sister is crying. And there's none of that in the text. That's just what Illustrator brings. Look how beautiful that face is. I mean, Yuyi is just a master. She's so fantastic. Here, people call him Big Thunder. That nickname is a storm filling up the sky. People call me Little Thunder. That nickname makes me sound like a burp or a fart. And see how Big Thunder really looks like a storm. I mean, it's like we're looking up from underneath, so he's bigger at the bottom and smaller head at the top. And she's also pointing to the ball, which is where the kids are fighting over the ball. So she's got all sorts of stuff going on that makes the story, both in terms of the words and the images, something that kids will want to return to over and over again to find these fun little things. The little dog appears everywhere it goes. And then here's Mom, who is so hip and groovy and contemporary, and she's got a motorbike. And Yuyi grounds these things with these little bits of texture underneath. And here, can I tell you a secret? Come over here and I will whisper it in your ear. That's a page turn because we got to find out what that secret is. I hate my name. And normally you want to avoid using words like hate, but this is Sherman Alexie. He can pretty much do whatever he likes. He's a National Book Award winner and he's phenomenal. So these are animals that are manifesting his distress and anger over his name. So I'm not going to give it all away. I'm not even going to show you all of it. Oh God, I do want to show you this, but I'm not going to, because I want you to get this book for yourself and read it and deconstruct it. It's very fun. I once touched a wild orca on the nose, so maybe my name should be Not Afraid of 10,000 Teeth. Well, here it is. It's Dad. He's wearing a mask. But it's just as terrifying to the kids. And I hope you'll get this book, whether you get it through your library or you actually support the author and illustrator and buy it. But I once climbed a mountain, so maybe my name should be Touch the Clouds. And the mountain is the top of the chair that Dad and little sister. There's so much you can learn from looking at this. There's so much I would love to teach you from looking at this. I want you to pay attention how Yuyi's lines, this is very line work driven, in that she created this line work either, with a brush and ink or in a, Photoshop or Illustrator. But the line itself has got thicks and thins. Like look right here, how it gets much thinner as it goes here and thicker here, which makes me think that she hand did the line work. But there are brushes, there's Photoshop and Illustrator brushes that you can have that variation. And the benefits of having a line that is both thick and thin is it makes it much more dynamic and much more interesting than if it's all the same width. And there's plenty of books that are illustrated using something like a micron pen where it is a consistent width throughout, and they're lovely. But personally, I like a line that's got the thicks and thins, and it's much more active and more dynamic, because it gives it more of a fine art look that has more of a sort of human hand look to it. And this is where he's dreaming the sun and moon were his mom and dad. I once dreamed the sun and moon were my mom and dad, so maybe my name should be Starboy. I like to go to garage sales with my mom, so maybe my name should be Old Toys Are Awesome. I mean, these are great. It's really, really wonderful, very, very playful. And I love the way that Yuyi has personified these characters and really just taken them somewhere that the author could never imagine. And that's one of the things that illustrators do. Oh, and I've just got to show you this because it's so exquisite. So here's a spread where there's lots of neutral in the background over here. And then look how she's layered. And she probably would have done that layering in Photoshop where she's got literally different layers at different opacity. So we can see that here, this would be its own layer. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and learnt a little about children's book illustrating. Notice how she's leading the reader to the next page. Everything's facing this way. But she's also got this wonderful, circular forms, very organic, combined with geometrics, and just wonderful. A lot of wheels, a lot of round shapes. Just truly a work of art and genius. So that's it for Thunderboy Jr., written by the great Sherman Alexie and illustrated by Yuyi Morales. Bye for now.